Joe, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
Looking chilled as usual.
yeah, just chilling out.
Excellent. Yeah, last time I saw you, you just beaten Daniel Dubois. What a night that was for you.
Yeah, big night of work, a big build up. It's a long time in the making, from April 11th to November 28th. I cancelled 4 times, and it finally happened. And I got my big win, stopping him with a jab. Silenced a lot of haters and doubters, and made new fans and etc. So yeah, it was all good, and it sets me up nicely for future fights.
We'll come back to that fight later, but obviously the first name on your lips after you beat Daniel was Oleksandr Usyk, and now it looks like you're getting your wish.
It's going as planned, so it seems.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously nothing sort of rubber stamped yet, but it's looking like you're going to be fighting Usyk for the WBO interim title. Is that right?
Yeah. So when the two big guys duke it out, then afterwards the winner will get the WBO.
And the winner presumably is going to be you.
Yep, that's the plan, man.
So how you? I mean, as I say, it's not been confirmed yet, but I mean, Frank Warren, we spoke to him a couple of days ago, and tentatively looking at April. Where do you understand where the negotiations are with that?
Yeah. So it's looking like April, when negotiations seem to be going well, and looks like the fight is lining up nicely, and it's it's almost confirmed.
And yeah, obviously you know him quite well. I mean, you shared a ring with him. Well, what we're looking at 8 years ago now, which wasn't the outcome you wanted back then, but obviously a lot of water under the bridge since then.
Yeah. I've learned a lot since then, and he's obviously bulked up in size a bit, and maybe lost a little bit of speed. So I've kind of caught up with him, and I hope to take over him in this next fight.
Yeah, because that was, I mean, to be fair to you, I mean, he'd just come out of the Olympics. I think you were sort of almost at the start of your journey, really. So you can't really compare the two fights. For those who don't know, it was for the 2013 World Series of Boxing.
Yeah, 2013. Wow. Yeah, because I only got on GB on the team in May 2012. So yeah, so the next year, and that was when I first went on the podium team and was there every week. And then obviously they just kind of took off from there. I really got in some good fights and got a lot of experience in the WSB. And on all them tournaments, all them smaller tournaments that I'd win, go to, fight 3-4 times, get the gold medal, step things up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he lost a single round that series, Usyk, but and
he was on fire. He was just because they bridged the gap between the heavyweights and the super heavyweights, and they brought both weights together, and he was just I was watching his fight. I was just he's taking apart everyone at my weight. I was like, damn. And same with Lomachenko as well. Them two big names.
And for you personally, what was it like sharing a ring with him back then? Did you learn a lot from that fight?
Yeah, and I hadn't really thought of Southpaw as good. Yeah, it was definitely a tough fight and a good learning fight for me as well, because his skills were like next level for me.
That was 8 years ago, and you've I mean, his career's progressed brilliantly. You're on the right track now. How do you see it going this time? How different is it going to be compared to way back then?
Well, I'll be, the sole camp will be focused on fighting him. So I'll have, getting the best sparring, and I have the tactics and stuff from Steven Salas, and so I'll be working on stuff only for him. So, and also with the pro gloves and the power shots I picked up over the years, I could have the power to stop him. Just need to catch up to him. Don't let it, cut the ring off. Don't let him move around too much. And take it away from him.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Jones, your manager, said he did an interview the other day, and he thinks you're gonna go at him right from the first bell.
Yeah, possibly like a Leroy Thomas Commonwealth Games, belt fight, maybe.
But yeah, so is that? I mean, obviously you're not going to give away your tactics, but you're not going to shy away from him, are you?
Nah, he's gonna be he's gonna be a tough person to catch, land a shot, but he's very skillful.
And Frank Warren, for his part, thinks you're just too big for him.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a factor?
Him on the nose, the body, the arms, the head. He's not going to like it.
Well, no, and we saw against Dubois and previous fights before that how durable you are. I mean, you don't get worn down very easily, and despite the shots that were being rained on you, you were just almost just shrugging them off and then just ploughing forward again.
Yeah, I guess that's my style. That's why I'm called the Juggernaut.
Well, very effective it is as well.
But yeah, I think, but that's not the only thing I've got. Like I aim to keep on improving myself as best I can, and work on the footwork, work on the head movement, and work on my weaknesses really, and just try and become the best Joe Joyce I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And he obviously back with Salas. I mean, as we know, how is he, by the way? Because he tested positive COVID before Dubois fight. Is he okay, fighting fit again?
Oh
now?
yeah, he's Salas is strong and tough. He probably shook it off in a couple of days, and he's back giving like 20 people pads. I think he did. What did he say? He said something like he does like something like 40 to 60 rounds of pads a day or something like that. I think it is mad. It's crazy. He's got so many fighters in his new gym and that, and they're all coming on. They've all got fights, and he's definitely got his work cut out. But he loves it, and he lives boxing. Loves boxing. He says even when he's like at home, there's no films or like series or something like that. It's only boxing.
Wow, that's some dedication, like almost bordering on
and breathes it.
Obsessive almost, isn't it? Yeah, but I guess that's what you. So is he just because I know he sort of flits from the America to over here? Are you sort of with him at the moment, or when's he coming over?
We'll just have to see what's happening because I started off back in with Steve and Greg Stellards and back in with Cam doing the strength stuff. So it's a long time till April, but I'm gradually just picking it up, getting my body ready for that for the charge, and but I mean I haven't let myself go too far like I did the first lockdown. Back when I came back from Vegas and it was like cake, beer, and ice creams and whatever else, and then so I'm being a lot more disciplined now.
Yeah, because I mean, when we saw you for the first time with a top off against Dubois, I mean that's got to be the best shape you've been in your career, hasn't it?
Yeah, I was feeling good. I was firing on all cylinders. I ticked all the boxes in training camp, and I performed to my best on the night.
Yeah. Well, we are going to come on to that fight in a second, but I did see that you've been warming up for Usyk by building snowmen and knocking their heads off.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a good day. It was a good day.
Yeah, we don't often get snow in London, but
I think it picked up everyone's spirits as well. It was like it's so long since we've seen snow, and like that thick as well.
Yeah,
especially down here.
Yeah, well, I also built a snowman, but I think my daughters would be horrified if I then proceeded to punch the head.
I did. Don't worry, I rebuilt. He got rebuilt. I built his head back again.
Okay, well, if they ever come across that video,
it was just for the gram. I did it for the gram.
If they ever come,
no snowmen were hurt during this whatever thing.
Oh, that's reassuring. I'll let them know. I'll let them know that. Okay, so before we come to Dubois, obviously you've explained what you're going to do. What you want to do to Usyk. You're obviously confident you've got the beating of him. if and when that does happen, you've got Fury Joshua. Now, obviously, those two, again, hopefully fighting soon. How do you see that one going?
That's a tough fight. It's 50-50 fight. They'll start off. Actually, I don't even know how it's going to go because, for instance, you know how. Because I'm thinking like Fury like Fury Wilder 1, he was more elusive. Fury Wilder 2, he came forward. So I wonder what he's going to do against Joshua. I know Joshua can come forward, and when he does, he's very dominant and like gets very powerful and dangerous when he comes forward. But he's also learnt to be on his back foot and just like pick the shots and be very similar to like how like careful and safe and Klitschko style behind the jab and the classic boxing style. So I just want, I'm sure it will like ignite and there'll be some big punches exchanged. Someone might get knocked down and have to get back up. But like I don't know, it's in the like everyone could just keep on speculating, but until the fight happens, you don't really know. But it's a 50-50 fight, and hopefully we see something spectacular.
I think that's the thing that Fury's got in his locker. You don't know which Fury's going to show up. I mean, we all know he's a brilliant boxer, but then in the last Wilder fight, he almost ran at him from the first bell, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure that would be a wise idea against Joshua though. But then short, and he's got such big arms, and his guard is tight. So I don't know.
Yeah, well,
and like obviously Fury's more loose and can be loose and unpredictable, so shots can come from anywhere. So it's very interesting which way it's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, for you personally, which one you've obviously you sparred Fury. I know you've sparred Fury because he said he's one of the toughest guys he's ever sparred because, like you said before, you don't stop coming forward.
Yeah, Joshua says the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
So you sparred Joshua as well, of course.
Yeah, that was 5 years on GB up in Sheffield with him, and so he did his London thing, and then went with Rob McCracken, and started off his pro career, and he's still there.
So, having been in with both of them, is there any preference as to which one you'd like to face?
I'll take the winner who has all the belts.
But is there any style, either style more suited to you, do you think, or is it?
They're both top of their game. So credit to both of them. They're both amazing boxers, and they're good guys outside the ring as well. So may the best man win.
Cool. Now Fury's dad, John, as well knows a bit about boxing. He called it. He called your fight with Dubois when a lot of people said it was going the other way. He basically called it, said he was too inexperienced, and you'd wear him down, which is exactly how it went. So go back to that night, November the 28th. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was really great. Yeah, respect to John Fury. He knows his boxing. He's been in the ring at the professionals. So he's very. I like to hear what he's got to say. I think he speaks his mind and he speaks his truth. So, but yeah, going back to the fight. It was. Did all the. I took all the steps, warming up, make sure I did everything before I got in the ring. Was practicing the shots and the combinations I was going to use against him. And walked out to what was it? The church hall? Church. What's it called?
Yeah. I think it was that. It's a lovely building, isn't it?
Church house.
Church house. Yeah.
Church house. Yeah, amazing building, and it was warm. The cage rooms are good, and it's amazing walking down that corridor to the entrance and have the people, like some few people, lucky people, family and people working on the event, like they were kind of like on top of you, a bit like York Hall. So it was a great venue, and traded the first blows in the first round. Kind of started measuring the distance and seeing where he's throwing his shots, and the jab was landing. I was worried about his his big overhand rights and lefts coming at me, and it's just about deflecting and just moving moving away from his right hand, and trying not to take anything clean. Just so it's kind of more like glancing blows, like where I was blocking and moving at the same time. So it wasn't like a stationary target just to get like a sitting duck.
But then he did catch you with a few big shots, which
Yeah.
would have taken most people down. And as I said earlier, you seem to just shrug it off.
Yeah.
But
Just keeps coming forward. Yeah.
in terms of his power, though, was that the hardest you've been hit, do you think, or you've been hit harder than that?
I didn't think he got a real clean hit on me. Like, I remember Stavern got a really good clean right hand, but I just took it, and then it's like that was their whole plan to build up to that punch, and then I took the punch, and then it's like, now what?
But in a way, that's similar. Okay, you say you didn't catch him cleanly, but Dubois did catch you with a few shots, and again, that must be really demoralising for him when he's used to just putting people down. And
he's just used to letting his hands go, and when one lands, then they're in trouble. Normally in trouble, like they just take it, and then that's almost it.
But to be a boxer on the other side of that, and that's I mean, I'm guessing his game plan eventually was to take you down, and to see you just like I say, just blinking away, that must be like, oh my god.
Yeah, but it was probably a good fight for him to learn from, and like you can't just rely on the heaviness of your hands or your power. There's like more to fights where you have to, and different fighters where you have to do, like sometimes you might not be able to hit the person. Like say if you're fighting Usyk, would you be able to hit him? Like because Usyk's like on his bike, on his feet, he's southpaw, awkward. You got to be able to have a wide spectrum of where like being able to adapt to different situations. Yeah. And also not to like, be able to conserve energy to go the rounds, and I don't know, and like not just go looking for the opportunity, wait for like, I don't know, just when it like don't wait, don't look for it and don't wait for it. It's like a balance where you need to find the right time. It's about timing when to find the right time to throw them big power shots, I guess.
Yeah, and obviously with Daniel, he was badly hurt in that fight. Few accusations from boxers and ex-boxers about him, in bottling it basically when he took the knee. Calling him a quitter. How did you see that from your point of view?
Well, I just thought he made the smart move by ending it there. I mean, some people were saying that it was early on that he received that the eye injury, and he kind of weathered the storm and carried on, but definitely saved his career, because they said one more shot like that and it wouldn't be able to see, or bad damage beyond repair, and then not be able to box again. So he lived to fight another day. But I think like even if he had carried on, there's slim chances of him beating me, I think, because like I even like knew then that there was nothing he could do to beat me from there, and I'm probably like late. We would have had another couple more exchanges in the 11th and 12th, especially the 12th. It'd have been all action 12th, and then he wouldn't have been able to take me out, and I would have just been keeping on piling on more shots, and I'll be start using my right hand and just probably trading with him to the end, and he wouldn't be able to have kept up with me if I'd picked up the pace, because he could only withstand an attack for like, I don't know, say 30 seconds or a bit more, and then he's blowing, he blew a gasket. He did that in the third round, blew a gasket, and then I could hear him breathing throughout the whole fight, out of it, mouth breathing as well. So I knew that. But, he can come again. He can go back to the drawing board, work on all his mistakes and his weaknesses and pick them up, and bring himself to the next level and go back in. And, he's got time on his side where he can just pick it back up, start with an easier fight and just pick it up in the levels until he gets back up. Maybe, rematch with Gorman again or something like that.
Yeah. And for your point of view, as elated as obviously you were at the victory, there must have been a small part of you thinking, God, I hope he's all right. I hope he's not seriously.
Yeah, no, that. It doesn't matter what he said. Like, I mean, of course, I was annoyed with what he said about my mum, but I mean, if I was to end his career on that night, I'd hate that. I'd hate to have. I'd hate that to have happened. I mean, if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, for those who don't know, I mean, obviously that was the original press conference. I think back in whenever it was, April or something, when your mum was there. Obviously, your mum's blind, and he made a reference to her, being lucky, not able to see you hitting the deck, basically. Which obviously I think you didn't realise what he'd said until afterwards, did you?
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway.
But that was,
I'll forgive them. I'll forgive them. We've moved on from that.
No, absolutely. I was just going to say before you, but I was there at the time, and Daniel and your mum sort of kissed and made up afterwards. It wasn't. It was all put to bed. But saw your mum and your girlfriend after the fight, and I got to say they were in very good spirits.
Yeah. That was a brilliant clip. I've seen that where they're like hugging and jumping up and down. He's won. Yeah. That was a special moment.
So good. And you said there was only a few people in the hall, but you could hear your mum shouting right the way through that fight. Could you hear that yourself? Was that giving you, or do you just blank all that out?
No, I do hear what's going on in the crowd. Like sometimes they've got good advice, and I'm like, oh, okay, use a double jab or whatever they're shouting out. But yeah, it's definitely good to hear some encouragement, especially for my mum. She loves it and loves to support me and my brother
and how does it work with her? Obviously, presumably you've got your girlfriend or whatever to talking her through the fight, telling you what's
my girlfriend Nadine, she would have probably been commentating on the fight and trying to tell her what's happening and stuff along, and also my brother as well, shouting out things. I think I don't know if I can't remember what my mum said, but I think Sam or Adam was like telling her what kind of things to shout. Yeah.
Well, you could certainly hear her. Bless her. She was in Five Festival that night. Just before we go, because I mean I know it was well documented. You did your fine art degree, and your mum, I believe, sort of does quite a lot of pottery. Your dad was an art teacher, and they encouraged you to get into art and do the degree. How were they as encouraging when you told them you were going to start hitting people for a living?
Well, I played rugby for a long time, so I was always in, always scratches on my cheeks and my legs and bruises and stuff. So, I guess it wasn't my best pleased at the time, but I guess but it's a career path, and I got on the GB team and start representing the nation and coming back with medals. So it's just I was just going from success to success, just keeping on winning and bringing back medals, and now I'm bringing back belts or straps. So it's they're well supportive and both proud of me.
Brilliant, and
which is always a good thing to make your parents proud.
Oh, it's lovely. And you're painting. You're still doing that. I know you've got some project you're working on at the moment, haven't you?
Oh yeah, so I was Purple Britch commissioned 3 ex-athletes, Olympic athletes, and we're all painters, to produce a piece of art for the Olympics for 2021, and I've actually had a look at a sneak peek at the boards that they're going on, for sale signs and to let and them kind of signs. They've already started putting our pieces on them. So they're ready to go out soon when the Olympics starts.
Brilliant. Oh, look forward to seeing that, mate. Is that? I mean, obviously you're sort of known as the most chilled man in boxing. I know before the Dubois fight, it seemed like you were just preparing to walk out for a sort of like a light training session. Does that help you with does that help you with your sort of your calm demeanor?
Yeah, I think it's just about being focused and when to switch on. Like when you get in the ring, you switch on, and you got someone who's trying to knock you out. So you have to have your guard and your defenses up, and also your attack, your offense. So, but at the end of the day, it's a sport and it's entertainment. So, kind of just stays in the ring. And also, when you're put in the environment of this of an art studio, then what you do there is it's quite similar.
Cool. Okay, mate. Well, listen, you've made your mum and dad proud already, and I'm sure you're going to go on to make them even prouder, starting with Usyk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
And
just back in the gym, getting ready to rumble.
And final prediction for Usyk. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, I know you can't call the fight, blow for blow, but in your heart of hearts, what do you think's going to happen?
I think I'm going to go for the knockout or the stoppage. I'm going to stop his feet. Maybe, he's not going to. I'm just going to. But I'm going to have to be smart and switched on, like not to take too many shots back and just stop his feet, but by every means necessary. But also listen to my corner and all the things that I've been doing inside the gym. Do all the hard work in the gym, so then it's easy once I get to the fight.